view from a large spaceship currently at war with mainstream science. Meanwhile, the peanut gallery is sad to find out the current weapons used in this world are not the same as the 1960s. What? Russia has a faster missile? Why on earth would governments be updating weapons year after year? Why not stop at the crossbow or the cannon? Bigger, faster, stronger. That's the way of things. Welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure thousands of miles wide. Just Google Flat Earth Mark. If you can't find it, well, you're just not very good at the internet. Currently, the show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern, and yes, Caroline, if it is not November, what the hell day is this, 26th? Is that right, 26th? Then you are listening to a rerun. Don't forget that the show can be found on BitChute and Brighteon, Rockfin, Rumble, and Spotify. YouTube is not the end of Flat Earth. It is just the beginning. Quote of the day goes exactly like these two fun things. First is from the Tim Pool Flat Earth debate chat room, one of my favorite ones ever, because this is a joke that he screwed up. Flat Earthers are the trans of astrology. Why is that funny? Because he said astrology, not astronomy. Now, I know that everyone makes that mistake at least once or twice in their life, but my God. The other one is from a little message that was sent to David Weiss. You have a screen in front of the thumb. Oh, right. Sorry. Thank you. Got to get rid of that. Where's that damn thing? There it is. Sorry, guys. There we go.
Hey,
see, that's why Peanut gets paid the big bucks. The other one is your flat Earth narrative is bogus and fake. It has to be removed from this Earth. That was a letter sent to David Weiss from someone who was trying to scam him. Brilliant, absolutely freaking brilliant. And it didn't work.
That was after the scam.
Yeah, that's when David called them out.
They sent that?
Yeah, that was their final parting shot.
I never knew. I wondered. They just went quiet on the video that David has on his channel. They just went quiet. But they couldn't resist coming back and taking a jab.
Yep, they wanted him. My co-host in the upper left, the perfect Patricia Steere, and in the upper right, the delightful DJ Curious. Hi, guys. What's going on?
what's up, Strange World?
It's my... Did Patricia just go silent for a second?
Patricia was muted, yep.
Was she muted?
I don't know whether she did a silent...
Patricia?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, thank God.
Something really weird just happened. My phone just flipped out and made a bunch of noise. So.
Oh, okay. It's my favorite day of the week, Tuesday, but being with you two is not very fun at all because you suck. And sometimes it's hard for both of you to find Flat Earth friends, but there's an easy way to find cool people like yourself and solid info about our stationary horizontal level plane. The solution is simple. It's the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks and see what happens. It'll be the best $2.99 you've ever spent. Oh, so sleepy. And because it's 10 p.m. on the East Coast, it's time to say goodnight to one of our listeners, Paige. She's just put on her Teen Titans pajamas, got a cup of cocoa with exactly 6 tiny marshmallows, and will probably listen to the playback in the morning. Good night, Paige.
Good night, Paige.
All right, shout-outs to Flat Earther Stephen Carpenter. Wow, tongue-tied. Flat Earther Stephen Carpenter of the Deftones. Support the Flat Earth cause. Get the coolest hoodies ever. Go to thestrong.family, won't you, and pick up some merch. Also to ZULUONE, longtime listener of the show, for doing a simulcast stream on his channel. I'm pretty sure he's out of YouTube jail right now, so that should work. Meetups. We got 3 during the holiday season. They were all on my channel. There is a Minnesota meetup November 30th. That promo you can watch at Mark K. Sargent. Another promo on my channel will be the Tennessee one. That will be December 6th. And a Southern New York one, which this time will be held right across the border in Collegeville, Pennsylvania, December 21st. So all the info for that is on there. It's the really quick little 2-3 minute videos with some Flat Earth music in the background. So yeah, there's the meeting.
All right.
Yeah.
Whew. Well, you burned through that today.
Yeah. There was I got a couple nice little emails from people as well. If I get time, I might might read one or two of those.
No
But
goodies? No fun goodies in the mail?
no, not today. No fun goodies in the mail.
No.
But you know what? There was one fun goodie. You know what? There was one thing that came in. I hadn't opened it yet, but I will after the break. I will get it for you. How's that?
Oh, I hope it's your narwhal tusk.
No, it's not. For those of you who don't know, I thought that a narwhal tusk would be great. But those are one, you can't even send them over the border. It's illegal because it's part of the endangered animals. It's part of the Ivory Tusk Act. So like I can't call my friends in Africa. I say, hey, send me an elephant tusk or a rhino tusk. Can't do it. It's completely illegal. You'll get in big trouble for it. The narwhal tusk, right up there in that. So even if you can get the transfer papers, I think I told you guys, an average narwhal tusk, even like a small, like a 7-8 footer, runs about $20,000. And that's pretty pricey for a hiking stick. You're gonna use it for a hiking stick.
Yeah.
But I'd probably display it. If I got a narwhal tusk, I know exactly where it'd go. You'd go right over there, across that wall. It'd be awesome.
I wonder, Fleetwood Mac with a song Tusk. I wonder what that was really about.
Oh, I think they were big game hunters. And pretty much they shot elephants and when they weren't touring.
Are you joking?
I am absolutely joking. I made that up on the fly.
Okay. Wow.
All right. Why is DJ's screen? Why is DJ's screen going from small to big? Why is he small right now? What happened?
I didn't touch anything, I promise.
All right,
He took the magic shrinking potion, I think.
I'm gonna make you.
I know, right? It's like Alice in Wonderland, going back down the rabbit hole.
DJ in Wonderland.
All right, I made DJ big again. No jokes. No jokes, Peanut. We are not. We are not going down there. Okay, so as you can tell from the thumb, in the 487th. Oh my God.
Whoa.
What?
Now DJ's dominating the thumbnail.
He keeps getting bigger. Somebody else.
That's what she said. Okay.
Oh man.
My God. I can't. Okay.
Okay, it's good now. Don't
good.
touch anything.
Nobody breathe. I'm going to try to lock it. See if it makes a damn difference. I don't think it's going to though. We're gonna lock his thing and see if it helps. Okay,
lock it and throw away the key.
So you can tell, all three of us watched this, which was, and I didn't know. I honestly didn't know. I didn't see a promo for it, but we had a Flat Earth presence show up on Tim Pool's stream.
And what a presence it was!
Oh, yeah, so exciting.
And Alex Stein. We'll say he's Flat Earth too, although he's more like geocentric, but. You know, he's Flat Earth. He cut his teeth with the David Weiss, Rose, Baby Truther Show thing. So, and Jaron.
Before we're done, Jaron. I am actually going to give Alex Stein props on this.
Oh yeah. He did good. He filled in where necessary the phrases, words, sentences that were being overlooked in the conversation. He did well.
He did. You know what? I'm just going to get out of the way now. Alex Stein for me, because I didn't watch, I listened to it in the background because I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to be distracted by the visuals. So I just listened to it and I tried to pick up. Me too. Cool. I mean, I watched to see who they had on there. And then as I'm listening, I'm looking, because I was trying to figure out what I might do differently if I was in their position. And then Alex Stein would like chime in. He knew when the audience was getting lost. And he knew
exactly.
When the scientists, when the brain power of that room, and there was a lot of brain power in that room, was delving into the minutia and getting lost. You know, they were quibbling like nerds do over the little things that the audience did not care about. And Alex eventually got tired of it and just started trying to bring it, throw in the broad strokes whenever he could and take it to the people.
Agree.
Music for the masses.
Yes.
And I know people give Alex a lot of crap.
Because people don't like some of his pranks that he's done, although, they're funny, but that might not be a cup of tea humor-wise. Right. And he can be loud and does that, like, Alex Stein screechy thing. But, those sorts of crazy antics is what got him to be, on a lot of primetime shows, which is what he wants. Obviously, he calls himself primetime, Alex Stein. So that's what it worked for him. And I met him in person, and he was really nice, low key, and not loud. And
so
tall.
Is he a flat earther, or where's his position?
Wow.
I think he is a flat earther, but he says he's geocentric to kind of take the edge off to be able to be involved in more mainstream things and play, like play both sides of the fence. That's just my theory. But I don't know.
He started out as more of a flat earther, but then appeared, and again, Alex, if you're listening, I'm not criticizing, to use flat earth, like a number of people, as a springboard for other things.
But he still talks about it and with intelligence like he did on this show.
Yes.
So it might be a play that he's done in order to just be able to talk about flat earth openly, to kind of always be, quote, curious, DJ Curious, to always be curious and say it's geocentric and maybe it's flat, but still know all the flat stuff inside and out, and then like throw it in there. So he's not too, what is the word? It's not annoying or offensive, although some people would say he is. So it's not too abrasive for like a mainstream science person to hear.
Right.
He's like a stealth bomber kind of.
Right.
He's walking the line pretty well, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And
I think he did good.
And Flat Earth took him to places where, it helped him along with his political commentary, which he's more known for. And then he got on. He's going to milk that till the end of time, which is his interview with Tucker Carlson. And then the whole, they kind of have similar styles and similar looks. So Alex is milking the whole, he's my biological father.
Right. He said that during this show. And Alex, got to give him points as well for always dressing well, trying to look nice. Yep. And I know on the Tim Pool show, you could wear a wet garbage bag and you'd be, better dressed than Tim. Because Tim just wears like a beanie. Nothing wrong with that. But our flat earth side went there, dressed to impress.
Yeah.
Whitsitt, as always, he always looks great when he does these public things. And, Alex as well. So that was good. It was great, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big win for geocentrism. I think is a big win either way. And so you had Robert Sugenis on there as well. And so to me, it was really fascinating that the panel, we had geocentrist with Robert, we had Alex, who's basically a flat earther, because like you guys said, he was dropping all the right flat earth proofs to keep the momentum. And then of course Austin, our champion right now, of just out there hitting down the science pretty hardcore. So then you even had Tim curious about flat earth with the right questions as well, which led and indicated to the audience that he's been paying attention. Then finally you have your NASA guy, who was kind of the underdog in this situation, in my opinion. So that's a big win for a flat earth night.
Yes. Yeah. When he opened up his laptop and there was a bunch of NASA stickers on the back of it, I'm like, oh.
Oh, yeah. He was a fanboy, to be sure.
Sure.
But I was listening.
He's probably got like a life-size Wookiee statue in his bedroom, Star Wars. And, he's probably very like loving space and sci-fi from the ground up.
That was me not that long ago. That's why this is such a
nothing
trip.
wrong with it. It's the way it is for many of us.
He was in the background. I was listening to him, and after a while, you could tell that he was being outgunned, because, like a lot of people, it's like, oh, I can just sleepwalk my way through this. This is going to be no, And then once Austin, it took Austin.
He started out saying like, "I've measured the Earth. I've measured the distance to Mars." Yeah. And I'm just going, oh my gosh, dude! Yeah. Do you even know what you're talking about?
Yeah, and Austin was going to have none of that. He called him out as fast as he could. Where I didn't surprise me necessarily, because I knew he was going to muddy the waters as soon as I saw him there, was Robert.
Right.
Yeah, that was intense. Robert kind of had the most hard questions.
Oh, Robert still does not like us. If you guys
don't
know,
play,
little backstory for you guys. Robert Sugenis was the creator of the movie The Principal, which came out some years ago, as we were coming out some years ago. And we stole a lot of the thunder away from that whole concept, which was, again, I've talked with Robert. He and I have emailed a bunch of times. He's quoted me in his books a slew of times, and I gave him permission to do so. It was wonderful. Great. His position is that we are the center of the universe. That's basically it. And of course, there was a creator, and very biblical in that sense, but from a physical standpoint, which is the earth is the center of the universe, and that is as far as where he's willing to go. Then Flat Earth comes in and takes it up a notch and says, oh, no, not only are we the center of the universe, but it's also flat. And there's really probably not even any universe to speak of. And then Roberts doesn't know where to go with that. So he has had, I won't say a grudge, but he doesn't like being overshadowed by us. So when I started listening to Robert after a while, I was like, oh, he's got a thing against Austin. He is absolutely going any chance he had. The host and Alex and what was the name of the NASA fanboy? Do we remember? But it doesn't matter. Those three were Austin's biggest competition in the room. Was supposed to be his ally, which was Robert Sungenis. It's like no, it was just those two going at it at some length, which I think
right. But it made Austin look even better because he was ready to go with the harder questions that most of the audience would never have been able to come up with because they don't understand the flat Earth model the way Sungenis apparently. I wasn't even convinced that he fully understands the flat Earth model from listening to him. And first thing I want to say is we didn't even understand what his own model is. So does he believe a sphere that's not rotating in the middle of space?
No, he thinks the Earth is rotating in space, but
and is a sphere. Yes.
Well, it's got
No, he said non-rotating.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I heard him say non-rotating.
Non-rotating sphere where everything circles around it.
Yeah. Okay. So a sphere in space. So that's interesting, right? Because how does that work? I mean,
it's close. It's way closer than anybody else in the room, sure, but it's not our model. And kind of, he doesn't. Again, it's been some years since he's looked at us. I mean, he's been doing this now with going toe to toe with us for what six years at least. Like him, Peanut. When did The Principal come out? What year did The Principal come out? And that was, by the way, The Principal. If you guys have never watched it, please do.
2012, maybe? I can't recall.
No. It was closer to
2015.
Yeah, it was way closer to 2015.
By the way, the guy's name, the NASA fanboy guy, Scott Ferguson. That was Scott Ferguson.
And I will say this: he kept in his The Principal. Look up Robert Sungenis, not the Hollywood movie, The Principal. No, not that spelling. No, the Robert Sungenis Principal. You'll see it.
I don't know why I thought 2012. But
that's okay.
I know Jaron interviewed him, and so that was during 2014.
Yeah.
12. Okay, it was probably in production in 2012.
Yeah, probably was.
Just try to get my points where I can.
But the NASA fanboy stayed
you got him.
Stayed in his wheelhouse, which what happens when you get a certain level of education, which is you don't feel comfortable talking about things that you aren't really well versed in, and so he kept pretty quiet for the most part. Little backstory if you guys didn't know who the hell Tim Pool is. Tim Pool, interesting character. He is a journalist he was just thrown into he's an amateur journalist that turned out to be a pretty big podcaster. He made his claim to fame because he did a video documentary / streaming series from Occupy Wall Street of all things. He was one of the only people down there. You can look up his wiki page. It's pretty interesting, where he was down there, boots on the ground. Never done anything like that before, and it's like this seems like an important thing. Films anything he can, interviews a whole bunch of people, and people were fascinated by it. And watching Occupy Wall Street turned out to be a thing, and he was like at the forefront of reporting this. He was like embedded with the crowd, whereas mainstream media was kind of reporting on it from the outside, and then that's where it just kind of led him, where he just kept, you know what? I should keep doing stuff like this. And so that's what he did. He amassed a bunch of followers. Now he's got over 1 million followers on 4 different channels.
Yeah.
And I will give him credit. He is not a truth community member per se, but he is anti-shot in the arm. And he was that's where and I've run into a lot of the people, since COVID happened, people that weren't in the truth community that all of a sudden became part of the community because of all that. And I don't know where his line is drawn. I know he went on Joe Rogan's show and talked about that to some degree. But he's not a bad guy. Look, I just give him all the credit in the world just for being anti-shot. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I agree. He's he lives in West Virginia. He doesn't have a West Virginia accent, and he's an avid skateboarder.
Yeah.
And he bought a skate park.
Right.
So
Nice.
the beanie he wears goes with the skateboarding culture for sure.
Yeah,
But skateboarding and West Virginia don't go well together, do they?
Yeah,
it's not like California, but
I mean, he's
even
ranked.
Florida.
He's ranked apparently. At one point, he was like, top 100 in the world.
Yeah. I mean, he's nobody to laugh at. I mean, he's got like some like street cred, and he's also sort of an innovator with what he does. I don't watch the show because I just don't watch the show. It's not for me.
I've caught some of his stuff, and it surprised me when I saw this was happening. It's like, really, you're gonna enter? First off, you've got Alex Stein, and you're doing a flat Earth sort of.
Tim Pool is better than you think he'd be. That's what Tim Pool is.
Yeah.
As a broadcaster, you're like, wow, I kind of decided to never watch that because I thought he was, an imbecile, but he's not.
Now, I've seen him in the past laugh at, of course, what everybody does. I'm not going to blame him for it. Think, it's all flat earthers. That's ridiculous. That's silly. And yet here we are a couple of years later, and he wasn't
laughing during that show.
Nope.
He was.
No, in fact, one of the things I thought that was great that he goes, look at this flat Earth map with the outer lands beyond Antarctica. He's like naming Asgard and whatever continents could be out there, and he's like, this is so cool. And it's kind of like, get your imagination going. Even if you're not ready to believe in flat Earth, when you entertain the idea of more land just across the oceans, it is pretty exciting because it explains where we could go and more to explore. And that's what I think ultimately people are holding on to is space. It's like, we want to explore, we want to be able to see what else is out there, and it could be right here in our own atmosphere, which is way easier than going to space. So it was great that he brought that up right away.
Yeah, agreed. And I also enjoyed the part where he took some shots at NASA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, he's saying as far as an organization goes, there's a lot of weird stuff that go on with NASA, and he doesn't trust them as far as an organization. And that would make sense because if in the last 3 years he's discovered that, oh, hey, science sometimes gets things wrong and they don't tell you about it, hint, hint, wink, wink, then what other groups, is that possible? And and in fact, I'm thinking of doing this. We haven't run the thing, and I'll do it before we do the, maybe before we go to break.
Fast Earth clues?
My Fast Earth clue. But I was thinking of doing, because I did one on Elon, but Tim kind of inspired me a little bit because he took some shots at Neil Tyson.
Oh, your favorite.
Yeah.
Well, one of your favorites.
And
along with Elon.
Yeah, well, Elon. Unfortunately, because you guys know this already, when I have to do searches for images for Elon, you punch it into your search engine, depending on what browser you use, your browser now is responds directly. So it's giving me more stories about Elon. So I try to say, oh, show me a picture of Elon in this setting. So now I'm getting 12, 15 different Elon stories a day, which adds to my fear.
On X today, there were conspiracy people, posting pictures of Elon, greeting a crowd, and he had like a line on his neck, and the conspiracy poster, I won't name who they are, it's nobody we know, it's not a flat Earth one, but was saying basically inferring that he's wearing one of those masks, those masks, and I literally, and I'm not here to defend Elon Musk, but I wrote, I'm not here to defend Elon Musk, but that's his necklace. I just hate that conspiracy garbage. Now, I'm not saying that they don't have those high-tech masks. I'm not saying that maybe some people who are famous might be wearing them at one time or another. However, that was Elon Musk wearing a necklace.
Yeah.
And to promote that, it was just dumb.
Yeah.
I'd love for Elon to be busted wearing a mask and it be somebody else underneath, like a Scooby-Doo reveal, like, whoa.
Scooby-Doo
It's Princess
reveal.
Di.
Nice. Elon's neckline.
That would be shocking, yeah.
Totally real. Elon's hairline, yeah, you can look that up on your own. Let's get back to this really quick. So Austin, if you're listening, I think Austin did very, very well. Yeah. Considering it was almost, I won't say the host was against him, but definitely Fanboy and Sargent were tag teaming him at some point.
Of course.
And he was bouncing back and forth, and I could hear Austin was a little frustrated. He doesn't lose his cool ever.
But he knew it was going to be like that. Anytime you go somewhere mainstream, that's what it's going to be. Yeah. So he knew that going in, and he does try to steel man the globe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
where he's attempting to show that he knows the model of the globe better than the globies do.
Right.
And sometimes, although it's interesting, that does confuse, I think, and bog down regular listeners, not flat earthers, regular listeners who are globe believers by default, not globe defenders, like we have on YouTube, but regular globe believers, to hear Austin, who's for flat earth, all of a sudden talking about facts about the globe like they're facts, when he's really trying to say, well, you believe XYZ. But he doesn't always say you believe XYZ. And so that steel manning thing does show his massive intellect and just this quick facility he has with words. But sometimes maybe it can work against him in this kind of setting.
I thought he did great. I'm so proud of you, Austin.
Me too.
Awesome job. Yeah, no, I think we all were impressed because he had to think quick and he had multiple people that are against him. And it's just so interesting to me to think that the geocentrist guy, Robert Sagenis, who's literally one step away from becoming a flat earther, if he just went and did the line of sight testing and just kind of looked a little bit more into it. I don't know why. It's so baffling to me, really, that he hasn't just made the leap in 12, 10 years, etc.
Yeah.
Crazy, right? But because for me, getting to flat earth, geocentrism was so intriguing to me before I would ever entertain flat earth. And then this was just like one more stepping stone to be like, wow, the lie goes even deeper. So I think, it's possible for him, but it kind of really, it impressed me how calm he is in these situations. Whereas like Austin, we all know when you try to talk flat earth with our friends, you're so ready for them to shut you down, to interject, to not let you finish a sentence. It's literally like you have to try so hard to speak so fast. You have to use so many disclaimers when you're trying to talk about flat earth with anyone, being like, I'm not trying to convince you, and also
I know
trying
you
to
think
prove
this
that
is crazy, but that kind of thing.
And prove that you know the model inside and out. And so Austin, great job. That was great to just see him able to finesse it, but also sound intelligent and look the part. I mean, dude, so cool.
He looks great. And he has red hair, I think, too. So I'm a fan.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. I hope he gets more stuff because of this. I really do.
Yeah, he's so well spoken. He's just a gem. Really, he's a gem.
His only, and I'm not going to call it a fault, it's just his demeanor tends to put off whoever he's going against, because Austin comes off as the cool, he'll talk real fast and he'll gloss over stuff, just like it's obvious. It's like, well,
Yeah, well, because it must be so hard to be in his position where you're repeating yourself over and over and over. I mean, literally. And you know how that goes, I'm sure, Mark.
I do, but Austin has because he started out with street activism. Remember, this is a walk in the park compared to what he used to do, literally on the sidewalk, against just random strangers, impromptu. Him with a tank top and shorts, just.
That's a great way to learn, I bet, though. I mean, not that he didn't know before he went on the streets, but it's like being a comedian in a way and being heckled. You learn how to have quick reactions to what's said when you're doing street activism, I'm sure.
The Tim Pool podcast will get him a lot of exposure. I think he did well. There wasn't any weird, awkward moments. So producers will talk to each other and they'll say, oh, hey, this could be kind of cool. Now
on YouTube, it's got 140,000 views as of right around now.
On that one channel?
Just a few days.
Just on that one channel on the YouTube channel. It's called the Culture Wars podcast, which is where your thumbnail is from. Yeah. From the cover of that. So, that's great.
Yeah, I'm excited. I hope that it kind of, if they're looking for two, I actually thought the Alex Stein tag team worked pretty well. Because Alex has that lighter side to him. Again, he saved the audience in a number of cases where he knew. I again, give credit where credit is due.
Like when Austin is too smart.
Right.
Alex comes in and
and Alex will say, "Look, I'm dumb." It back. He said that how many times Alex said it's like, I'm just an idiot. But here's what I think. I think it's this, right?
It's like radio talk shows in the old days, the morning show. Think about, I don't know, depending on how old you were, if you ever listened to radio morning talk, usually, maybe now it's women, but it used to be two guys. They had different roles. There was one guy who might be more intelligent, and the other was more goofy. And they would talk about topics, one would reel the other one back in.
The straight man, funny man routine is timeless. It's been around forever. Works. I mean,
good cop, bad cop.
Good, or Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin. That whole thing. I mean, it is right. I got that right. Yeah, Dean. It is a timeless thing, and I think it worked well in this case. And the host didn't have to do much, which was great. Tim just sat back for the most part and let it roll. And he guided it every once in a while, but for the most part, and I will say this, because Tim is really big on references and journal. You know, it's like someone will say something. It's like, really? Where can I find that? He'll stop you right then and there.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I oftentimes stop people in conversations who will say things and say, can you drop me a link to that?
Right.
In fact, just like what I said on X, when somebody was posting, oh, that's Elon Musk wearing a mask. I'm like, well, that's a necklace. I mean, I can't stand dumb stuff. I mean, perhaps people might say I say dumb stuff all of the time because you're a flat earther,
Right.
but okay, fine. But I really like when people want a reference. But of course, if you're going to give me Wikipedia, I'm not saying Wikipedia isn't filled with truth. But I mean, I'd like multiple sources for things.
Right.
For
Oh,
sure.
no, I never. When
Not
someone's
just Wikipedia.
Yeah, when someone says, and by the way, I was absolutely right when, like, for a brief moment, I watched it happen. So when this interview came out, or this debate came out, it was the top of the Flat Earth search, right, for at least 2 or 3 days. That's usually the minimum, and the wiki sticker was on there immediately. And it's like, all right, doesn't matter
they
what.
called it too. They called that too.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, it was very much Pinky in the Brain. You know, Austin's
That's a
just
good
rattling
one.
out. So poor Alex. Okay, maybe not quite Pinky, but you know, close enough.
I mean, Alex is really intelligent, and he's not loud and obnoxious like that in real life. So
he was awesome. He definitely
just
brought a
knows
lighter
what to
element.
do what he wants to do. in
Exactly.
life.
This wasn't he could have gone off the rails and gone, you know, completely zany and everything like what he does in town things that he's been banned from so many community meetings over the years. But no, I thought it was a nice contrast, and it kept things from getting too. Again, I was listening, I was getting frustrated, and Alex was. They call it comic relief for a reason. He would come in and break the ice and break the ice up and break the ice up.
Yeah, but not just with comedy, but with good points that
Yeah.
might have been lost, or I thought
Or
he did
simple points.
Simple.
That's
That's a good way to put it.
I went back afterwards, like, I was listening. I was not reading, because sometimes the chat room. Sorry guys, I don't read the chat room while I'm doing this. I'll go back and look at it later.
I do sometimes. If anybody wonders, I look down, and that's what I'm doing,
That's
seeing what everyone has to say.
that's good. Well, it's good.
But I'm not leading a show like you are.
That's well, no, it's good
Yeah.
because somebody's watching, because otherwise, technically, if we run into issues, it's like there's an echo.
And I
guys
can't
aren't
do two
even on
things
the
at
air.
once, so I have to listen to Mark and you, so I figure out what I'm going to say next. But,
But
sorry, Chad, I can't always read it in real time. It's really hard.
But I
Yeah,
listened.
it's hard.
I listened to the Tim Pool debate without the chat room, and then I went back and looked at the chat room. I just scanned through and scrolled it up and down and took a look at stuff, and that's why I found that fun comment about astrology. And again, I get it. Everybody screws it up at least once or twice in their life, astrology and astronomy. I get it. But if you're gonna make a joke about us, you better get that one right. Otherwise, you come off as a dumbass. So, you're taking that shot. But for the most part, it was what I saw in chat was predictable, right? Which was they were, I can't believe Tim is actually entertaining this. I can't believe they're giving him a platform.
We
It's
see that everywhere.
I'm unsub, thumbs down, blah blah, all this other crap, and it's like, yeah, whatever. He's not.
I did screenshot a really good comment though. Somebody named Tusaroni,
What was it?
says, "This episode is the epitome of the expression, the problem with the world is that the intelligent people are full of doubts and the stupid ones are full of confidence."
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good.
That was
That's a
one.
good comment.
There was overwhelmingly positive Flat Earth support too in the comments, which I thought
yes.
was great. So the tide is shifting. And another thing, just getting back to who's watching the Timcast,
Yeah.
he's buddy with Joe Rogan. He's
I
on
was
Joe
going to
Rogan.
say, he's very Joe. When we were talking about what Tim is like, he's like a different form of Joe Rogan.
Right.
Yeah, and this is an episode you can send to your friends and family, and they might entertain it, because it's just going, look, how obnoxious is it to think that the universe, the center of the universe, might be the Earth? I mean, it's kind of what everybody deep down hopes is true, even though you don't want to act like you're the center of the universe. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, look, if we all knew that something that created this place put us in the middle, and it turns out it's scientifically true, then hell, there could be a lot of hope out there for this place that most people think is just not true, because we're so stuck in this, we're random. It's like, no, what if the Earth is unique? Changes everything.
Yeah. I'd love to know how this whole thing got put together.
It's
like
interesting.
who did, because it was almost, I was getting a vibe that Alex and Tim knew each other from previous things. Because I think
Probably.
Alex
Yeah.
would have been on Tim's radar. But I mean,
Maybe they've even done something together before. Or
well, Alex is
that I don't know about?
he gets the attention of with political activism. So just the fact that Alex, you remember from a couple of years ago when he was yelling at AOC on the steps, and she came,
a big
came
booty
at him.
Latina, he called her.
It's like, oh my God, that's just gold. He would have gotten on Tim's show just for that. It's like,
Right.
tell me, what was it like having AOC try to punch you?
Oh, wow.
You never saw that, DJ?
No, I haven't followed much of Alex Stein. I need to go back and look into his stuff.
Yeah, he's a what was it? Pimp on a blimp, eating shrimp. Yeah, yeah, very catchy. Alex Stein, 99. Yeah.
Prime
Okay,
time.
no,
Prime
I mean,
time,
he seemed like he had just a lovable quality about him. So,
And he's been in a lot of LA-based reality shows and game shows before he found Flat Earth and before he started doing what he's doing now.
Yeah.
And I don't know the names of the shows. Other people in the chat might know, but he's been in a lot of shows. So and people say, well, that's what makes him an insider. He's fake. He's, an agent. He's a shill. I don't think so. I think he's either neutral or he's helping Flat Earth.
Yeah.
Well,
depends on
he
how
was
you look at
helping
it.
getting all those flat Earth proofs out there that most people, because if you were trying to ask somebody, if you're going to sit somebody down and be like, hey, do you want to listen to flat Earth that they're finally going to let you, and you ask them, can you come up with any flat Earth proofs on your own? I mean, their brain is going to be like, no, why would you even ask that? Okay, so then you start to show them flat Earth proofs, and immediately their brain goes, these are lies. However, when you start to look into it, then you start to come to the realization it's not lies, and you eventually, if you gave it a fair investigation, you come to this side. So it was cool just to see those proofs being disseminated. Like one really big one that caught my eye was when they were talking about refraction, how Austin says, you guys invoke refraction every chance you get, but yet the times that we see the furthest is when there's the least atmospheric conditions for refraction, meaning when the sky is really clear and there's less moisture in the air, that's when there's less likely to invoke refraction as the excuse of seeing an island that should be miles beyond the curvature right there in front of you. Yeah. Whether it be 60, 70 miles away. So I thought that was really clear and a super great proof that got kind of, there was no way around it, you know what I mean? And a lot of times he was making points and the NASA fanboy couldn't answer his points. He just had to literally just ignore it.
Yeah. Well, that's what most of the people I've told about Flat Earth have done. Just ignore it.
Yeah, I know.
Well, they short circuit. In fact, there was a point I forgot to make, and that was one of the reasons why Robert Sungenis has been so slow coming around was the timing.
Well, his bread and butter is based on staying geocentric.
Well,
and he's got good points within staying geocentric, and that's fine,
The year 2015 was when the movie really started getting rolled out. Who's the lead of Star Trek Voyager? Was that Kate Mulgrew? Is that right, Peanut? Kate Mulgrew? She was the lead. He had her do she was the one that did the narration for it.
She did the narration with that very distinct Katharine Hepburn-esque voice of hers.
Exactly. And she didn't know until the movie was done what the movie was about. And she said on multiple interviews that she felt she was deceived because that's not my opinion. She goes, I was just reading the text. And going,
well, how crazy is that? People who do voiceovers aren't really on books or movies or whatever, and aren't usually like in believing the thing.
Right.
I mean, there's people who play roles in Hollywood of serial killers or rapists, and they're not really serial killers or rapists.
I know. In her case, it's
or
like
are they?
it was a paycheck. Say, I'll read a couple pages. How hard could it be? But what I was going to say was,
she played somebody on a spaceship, and she wasn't on a spaceship. So what's the problem?
Right. In 2015, when the principle was rolled out, I remember he thought it was because we started hitting it hard in 2015, right? And he thought it was a conspiracy. He thought that we were part of a whole nother group, that we were part of a government group that was there to squash his stuff. That's what he thought at one point. He's like, "Oh no, Flat Earth isn't real. Flat Earth is a psyop against me." And it's like,
that's what I thought. When I first heard about Flat Earth, I was like, hell no.
He's being personally geocentric, thinking he's the center of everything.
Right. And so after a number of years, I think he's softened at least that stance on it. Now he's just like, because we go ahead.
Aside from the principle, he's got other books that are more religious or like Not by Faith Alone, books that are about Christianity and God.
Right.
And so there's things to dive into when it comes to him. He's not a one-trick pony, really.
No, and
So.
I've watched The Principal a couple times, and it's well done.
Mm-hmm.
And had I seen it before I got into Flat Earth, who knows what it would have done to my Flat Earth stance, for example. Maybe I would have been all encompassed in the...
No, you would have just said, cool, interesting, and then found more information and continued, and been exactly where you are right now.
Maybe. It was a very good take on the Earth being, from a scientific standpoint, the Earth being the center of the universe. That we are the heart of creation. And I thought that was
it's true. So
that was a great take.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, and I like that it just, again, it aligns with Genesis, where it's like in the beginning was the heavens and the earth was without form. So it's just basically like, boom, you have an above and a below, and it's kind of like, how convenient, right, that it seems to match up in this realm. But I thought it was really cool. They talked a lot about ether, and they explained that satellites could be real, and we don't really understand what this medium is. It's ether.
Ether used to be known as the fifth element. There's a movie called The Fifth Element.
There you go.
But ether used to be the fifth element. Of course, that was removed, but that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, love that movie. One of my favorite sci-fi.
Me too.
Like Peanut, I still love sci-fi. But you like that movie too?
So do I. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Great movie. But I mean, the ether thing and the Plum particles saying how the air between us has some sort of matter on the smallest scale. Right. So I thought that was cool, that because a lot of people use that as an argument, like, what about satellites? And it's hard. I don't really know how to explain satellites either. So this gave me more insight.
Yeah. And there was a wonderful point where that it was worded different than I already knew, which was the old argument, and I could tell that Fanboy was already in that headspace, which was so many people don't know. It's like, why can't we see forever, right? Why can't we see forever out of this? And well, because the atmosphere is not nothing, right? And then somebody, I can't remember, it was Austin that brought it up, where not that long ago, we didn't know what exactly made up the atmosphere. It's like, okay, we're breathing in something, but we don't know what that is exactly. Don't forget that was 1900. We didn't even know there were different blood types. All we knew is that sometimes the transfers didn't go well.
Peanut's breathing in smoke, so that we do know. Right now.
But it was, I know, look at that. I love the new animation for Peanut too. It's so freaking cool.
But yeah, if you guys didn't know, by the way, you can't see my cursor down there, but we've got a little Peanut, a little grizzled Peanut smoking undoubtedly a Pall Mall hardpack red.
And Peanut just typed in our private chat something that's quite true. Too much oxygen killed Michael Jackson. So Brian Burton, in an effort to stay alive longer, is smoking.
There you go. He's trying to cut back on his oxygen to make sure he doesn't get too much.
Yeah.
That brings up an interesting point. It was something I'm not going to be able to save it for an astronaut, because who knows when I'm going to be able to talk to one of those guys again. I talked to Terry Virts some years ago.
Right.
Which was, I wanted to ask, because it's a trick question, which is, hey, what is your oxygen ratio on the ISS or any space capsule? What is your oxygen?
Is that something they themselves are checking all the time?
They should have that burned into their heads, no different than scuba divers. And so I'll give you guys the answer to it right away, because I don't think astronauts are listening to this right now.
Well, they are scuba divers, but that's a whole different story.
What we're breathing in is 80-20, 20% oxygen and 80% nitrogen. That's what we're breathing in right now. When you're scuba diving...
And the dust of our ancestors.
And the dust of our ancestors. Because we're all stuck. Should my Fast Earth clue for next week be... Neil Tyson. Should I do Neil Tyson? I'm thinking about it.
Do it.
Sure.
Yeah. You should do whatever is exciting for you. Those are the easiest ones to do. So
I want to know what he thinks now that Joe Rogan, who he pulled back in when Joe Rogan said, we never went to the moon, and he righted that ship, and then Joe Rogan went back to, we didn't go to the moon. Now, what does Neil think now?
Oh, no, Neil's towing the line. In fact, Tim Pool that did a wonderful little segment on Neil Tyson where he realized, because Bill Maher attacked him recently, and he was commenting on that. I won't get into why Bill Maher was attacking him, but he was basically saying that Neil Tyson is a puppet for the mainstream. He rattles off whatever the mainstream media wants him to talk about. And it doesn't matter if it's space or not. Kind of like Bill Nye. Right, where Bill Nye, again, got a bachelor's in mechanical, but he's talking about the Mars rover. He's talking about climate change. He's on a panel about quantum physics. It's like, okay, sure, all that stuff. where's I going with this? Oh yeah, sorry, the oxygen ratio. So we're breathing at 80-20, and when you're doing scuba divers, maybe it's 70-30, gives you a little more oxygen, right? And then the big question is, well, why don't you crank it up? And that'd be my trick question for an astronaut, which is like, so have you ever thought about taking it up to 50% oxygen, 50-50, right? You can't. You see,
No.
because when it gets over 40%, a lot of people don't know this. When it gets over 40%, it becomes toxic. It starts burning your lungs. In fact, we can't even get close to, that, and it's extremely flammable, by the way.
Yeah, that was actually one of the first flat Earth. Before I got into flat Earth, when I started to learn about how the Earth just functions, and learning that it was 80-20, they explained it on one of these programs I saw that if you were to light a match, it's the only planet, they said, in our solar system where you can light a match and your flame will actually hold. It won't blow up because there's not too much oxygen, and it won't die out because there isn't enough. So it was kind of a perfect balance. It was getting back to the fine tuning that science can't explain, just like why they ignore geocentrism.
There you go. So the trick question part of it is like, okay, what is your oxygen ratio in the ISS? Because I want to know, right? Because what are they going to say? Are they going to say it's 80-20? Are they going to say it's 70-30? Or are they going to say, oh no, we pump it up. We got a lot of oxygen, and be like, oh really? Because at that point, one, it's flammable, and two, it'll just kill you in a matter of hours. So what don't you know? The reason why, Patricia, just should they know this? Scuba divers know this inherently because they have to know it. They have to have all the tables memorized for their tanks.
But scuba divers are going out in the ocean on their own with maybe somebody on the boat. Maybe they're monitoring their tank. I don't know. Never scuba dived. I'm
right.
sure there's something for them to look at. But astronauts are never going out alone. They're with some other people. I don't know. Maybe it's different.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll say the amateur scuba diver doesn't filter.
I'm trying to argue.
No, it's good.
Got to step back. I'm trying to argue people going and taking spacewalks as if it's real here. So I take all that back.
Because it's professional, right? It's not like an amateur scuba diver where you're renting the tanks from the local guy on the beach and you're just going down. You're spearfishing. No, these are guys, and again, it's also not the tanks you're wearing on your back. It's what you're walking around in the ISS. That balance has to be perfect. It can't be too high and it can't be too low, and it can't be sliding one way or the other way. And which also begs the question, where'd you get all the nitrogen? If it's 80% oxygen, nitrogen, where did you bring all that up with you? And how exactly are you when you're venting gases, when you're having the spacewalks right through the doors or through the airlocks? How are you repressurizing? What are you repressurizing?
Yeah, there's no explanation for that. Maybe I'm sure they've got one, but I don't understand at all how that works.
Yeah. And there's no footage of them going in that continuous live feed.
And by the way,
kind of footage, but not the full all the way footage.
Thank you, DJ. Right. By the way, when's the last time we saw an airlock shot?
That's exactly where they don't.
Right, where it's like, here's the button. We're gonna vent the gas. Then you spin the wheel and you open the door, and then you leave. We never see that shot.
We saw their heads pop out or them getting ready to go in. So
they never even talk about it.
What about Suni, witch chin? What's going on?
Okay, we'll talk about that with headlines with the next section.
She's still starving.
However, let's close out.
Just eat.
Let's close out. No, we'll talk about it. I've got a perfect headline for that. Any final comments on the Tim Pool debate panel? Patricia?
Yes.
I just want to say thanks to Austin. Thanks to Alex for fantastic work.
DJ?
Yeah, they did awesome. It was a big win for Flat Earth. It's a big win for geocentrism, because if you're somebody who's never heard of these topics, all of a sudden you have what seem like very intelligent, sound mind humans discussing things that are completely off out there in, la la land, but it could be real. So it gives people's imagination going. That's why I loved it. And I recommend if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's it was just such a great moment to see at this point. And it helps me because now I can send it to my mom, which quick update on that. We had a great conversation today. So Mom, I love you. Thank you we got to a really great place. I know it's like she understands why this is important. And I think that's why, Mark, thank you for giving me the opportunity to come on the show, and Patricia being so supportive, because it's helping my friends and family kind of go, all right, DJ, let's pay a little bit more attention to what you're trying to say. And, it's just like, dude, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to say this place is special. It's changing my life and there's hope. So Austin doing the heavy lifting out there. Great job.
Yep. And my final comment there is I appreciated the conviction. Neither the straight man nor the funny man, the comic relief, at any point seemed unhinged, unbalanced, so eccentric that it's like, oh, this person's obviously a kook. I mean, they had great conviction. They both had wonderful points, and the chat room responded in kind. It's like, yeah, they were arguing. You realize without knowing that the panel was arguing against people that they found not necessarily credible, but intelligent enough to go toe to toe with. Meaning they weren't dismissed outright. NASA fanboy, it's like, well, I can't even believe I'm on this show. This is just ridiculous. Austin's an idiot, and I don't even know why Alex is even here. That sort of thing. Those comments never came up. The insults really weren't there. So that was nice
really.
to see. Yeah.
And shout out to the NASA guy, because he kept his composure pretty well too. I mean, I think for him, he's kind of going to be mind blown, and I hope he goes and investigates this, and we'll see. I can't wait for the day when we get some of these deniers to make the switch, which I think will happen. Maybe not the trolls, but some people will. It's easy
for him to make the switch. All he needs to do is buy a little bottle of Goo Be Gone and use that on the laptop that he has and remove those NASA stickers, and he'll be NASA free.
That's true.
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly.
But if anybody wants to watch it, it's called the Flat Earth Conspiracy Debate, and it's on the Culture War podcast. It's Tim Pool's channel. He's got several, but it's called the Culture War podcast, and it's called the Flat Earth Conspiracy Debate. So you might want to listen to it while you're doing something else. You don't really need to watch it.
And it was awesome. And if Tim is ever looking for a lighter-hearted conversation, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have to do it.
That'd be awesome.
I don't even have to do it on the record if you don't want. If you want to do a pre-record, I'd be happy to do it. But I thought it was a wonderful thing. Again, the fact that he entertained it was wonderful, and the exposure invaluable.
Flat Earth's so hot right now.
It is, right?
That's another Zoolander reference.
You know what? Just for that, I'm going to fire up my Zoolander reference 60-second Fast Earth clue. This one's called Muskifiction, because Musk is fiction.
Sounds like a disease.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, hang on. 60 seconds will change your life.
Or should we do it after the commercial?
No. We're doing it right now. We're coming back.
Okay.
Shut up. Fire up. So my flat earth friends messaged me saying, Mark, what's your problem with Elon Musk? My problem is you don't see the problem. Let me enlighten you with some of his greatest hits. In 2017, Elon showed up on my radar with the Dear Moon project. I'm going to send a space bus of people around the moon. That went nowhere slow. I'm building a super plane that goes to China. No. I'm going to help Puerto Rico after that hurricane. No. I'm going to save those kids stuck in that cave with my submarine. No. I'm going to make an underground bullet train in California. No. It never ends. He didn't invent Tesla. He bought it. He didn't invent Twitter. He bought, rebranded, then destroyed the stock. SpaceX is a black hole of money. See what I did there? How is an aging programmer with Asperger's considered one of the smartest men in the world? And how in the hell did the media not question that whole Tesla roadster in space? It doesn't make sense. He gets credit for things he just says and never does. He does nothing. My God, I've turned into Mugatu and he's Derek Zoolander. Short version, Elon Musk is a technocrat muppet for the US government and an enemy of flat earth. Do your own research and recognize a false idol when you see it. Whatever. I'm done. Yep. Yeah.
Boom. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. So good.
Let me. I want to address one thing really quick. Real quick fact about Elon that most people miss, which is close it. All right, I'm closing it. Sorry. Wait, you didn't want to see the Asian girls wearing the flat Earth shirts? I thought they were kind of cute.
They're cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you mean fuck you and that was from Austin Powers.
No, not those Asian girls from Austin Powers. No, I've watched enough stuff on Elon, and I try to remind people. They say, "Oh, he's the richest man in the world," and it's like, no, the problem with him is that Tesla represents 1% of the cars of the world, barely 1%, and yet they are the most valuable automotive stock in the world. For what reason, right? They're more than General Motors, more than Toyota, more than Mercedes.
Do you see them around the island, Whitby Island, Myres?
Well, sure.
Seattle?
I
see them around?
I some, but it's a blue island. So, and if you want to, there are people on this island that drive golf carts around short distances, and that's all. That's all a Tesla is. It's a glorified freaking golf cart. Because it is. If you want to drive really short distances and then pull it into your house and plug it in, hey, great. That's what you do with golf carts. That's what they've been doing with golf carts for decades, right?
The truck one looks really weird at night when it's driving toward you, which I had the, I don't know, experience of a couple of nights ago. I have seen them drive by, but only in the, when there's light out. But when it's dark, and then the way they have designed the headlights are very weird.
It's such a status symbol. Don't you want to like pull up to them and like roll down your window and wink and lick your teeth when you see one of those?
No, I just want to get away from them as quickly as possible.
There you go. So to finish this thought, then we'll go to break, which is the reason why Tesla stock is so incredibly expensive compared to General Motors and Toyota and all that is because they got in on the very beginning. In fact, they lobbied for it to get in part of the Green Deal. They were at the tip of the spear of the Green Initiative. When the whole world was going green, what car company are we going to endorse? What projects? And Tesla was right there. And he had already taken over. He had already bought Tesla and kicked out the founders and wrote himself in the charter as a co-founder. That's part of the contract, part of the lawsuit. You guys can look that up. And once America signed on and gave them the big grant money for it, all the other countries jumped on. Well, what's America doing? Signing on this electric car company? They just threw dump trucks of money at Tesla, and all these investors came out of the woodwork. And so all his money, his $200 billion, it is all tied up in Tesla stock. That is where his money comes from. He lives and breathes basically on the Tesla stock.
Is he going to buy MSNBC?
No, he's not going to buy MSNBC.
That's just a sort of publicity
I saw that
stunt.
meme.
That was just red team rubbing it in. Which was, again, look where it started, right? Trump's son says, "Oh,
well, the
hey,
meme reminds me of rubbing it in, but that's a whole other story."
Yeah, he posted a really risque blasphemous meme, by the way, everyone.
Yeah.
It was. Again, he's not going to buy it, but it was an interesting thing because then other people chimed in on it, which was once Joe Rogan says, "Oh, I'll come in and take Rachel Maddow's show and I'll wear her glasses." In the show,
Oh
it's
my
like,
God.
okay, it's a nice little fantasy to go along, but buying MSN now won't sell deliberately to them. Yeah, they'll go out of their way to make sure that, because also they saw what happened with Twitter, which was, he buys Twitter, and now a couple of years later, there's kids now. It's like, oh, Elon founded Twitter, or they don't even know what Twitter is.
True.
Because now it's
And Rachel Maddow was crying, right? Did you see that?
Yes, I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Oh my goodness, it's a clown show out there.
It is a
Strange
clown show.
Clown world.
And we've got
my
a
God.
bunch of clown shows.
Did anybody see? Why can't I think of her? She just ran for president.
Kamala?
Kamala's first speech. See, I already forgot her. Her first speech that she gave to people. Because she's been like kind of AWOL for a while after losing.
Yeah.
Her first speech where she was saying that. Remember everyone, no one can take your power away from you, even if we lost. Your power is yours. It was just very,
No, that's not true. Blue team's in complete trouble. Okay, we're going to go to break. When we come back, we got headlines. We got all sorts of fun stuff. So
yay.
Don't go anywhere. Hey, what happens when I hit this?
Introducing the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock App Meetup Maker. Never miss another meetup again. You can look up meetups in several different ways. Sort by date. You can search by location or within a 500-mile radius. To create and list your own meetup, enter the date. Give the meetup a name, a location name, add a photo, enter your contact information, create a group chat name, and then fill out the description with all of the details. Select your background color and hit the Save button to add your meetup to the list. Once the meetup is saved, it will ask you to create a group chat for all of the meetups so people can join the group and start a local chat community. Select Public Group. Add your welcome message, and your meetup is now available for all to see. To make sure you don't miss another meetup in your area, you can select your desired radius and whether you want push notifications or email or both. Whenever a new meetup is added in your selected radius, you get notified. The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock Meetup Maker, bringing people together all around the plane.
Join me, Karen B, every Moon Day at 9:30 a.m. for Coffee Talk on YouTube, Rumble, and Rockfin. You never know what you'll learn about in the coffee shop. Open topic and open phones, y'all. And also for meetups, local meetups. If you want to have your meetup listed on flatearthfestivals.com for free, please email flatearthfestivals@protonmail.com.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 2 of 2. Got to pull that thing off the screen, Peanut says. Yes. I'm your host, Mark Sargent. There's Patricia Steere. There's delightful DJ Curious. And yeah, you know what? That was Joe Jackson stepping out from his album.
Night and day.
Oh. Good one.
Wow. Snuck in there. Nice.
I was hoping you would do that.
Okay. Well, we haven't done headlines in a few weeks. Oh, yeah, by the way, next week, if I'm not mistaken, DJ, we have a special guest, right? Potentially?
Ooh, Strange World has an exclusive. Should we divulge?
Yeah, why not?
All right, yeah, Lisbeth Acosta going down to Antarctica for the final experiment, as we know, experiment, quote unquote. But we're going to get the full Lisbeth exclusive. Lisbeth, we're looking forward to having you, and she is very excited to share her story. So tune in next week, guys.
It'll be awesome. It'll be the last chance most people will get to see her before, her untimely demise in the snow.
No, that's not going to happen.
No, probably not. Probably what chances are 1
Most
in
likely
3.
not.
She has really pretty hair.
1 in
I'll say
4.
that. I haven't met her, so I don't know her. So I can only say what I've seen, and she has really pretty hair. So.
Well, she is a fan of just Flat Earth, and we're excited to kind of pick her brain, hear her story, and pump her up for her trip.
Mm-hmm. She's been on Clubhouse most of her time as a flat earther. So.
Yes.
Let's bring her to the dark side.
Cool.
YouTube.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And again, Austin, if you ever get around to it, love to have you on the show. Love to have you before you leave, but also have you when you come back, because I know we want to talk to Jaron when he comes back, and hopefully Austin. And Lisbeth.
Austin's busy, new babies,
whatever priorities.
looking sharp,
Looking sharp.
I know. We'll get Austin one day. He'll come around, because our viewers would probably love to support him. And guys, if you haven't already, check out Austin's page. Go and support him. He's trying to do a GoFundMe because he's got a family to take care of, and he's going to be gone for almost half the month. So hey, Austin, we want to help you out however we can. That's a long trip. Was it the 10th through the 21st? It's a long trip. Yeah, sitting in the snow. And again, it is as far as a bucket list thing goes, what a great thing that he can put on his resume. Right. It's like, oh yeah, I was in Antarctica. Nobody says that ever.
He's fast becoming the most interesting man in the world.
Like the beer guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like the guy from Dos Equis.
Yeah, just saying I've been to Antarctica, someday when he's 50. That's pretty cool.
There is not a lot, again, well, most people, why would you go to Antarctica? It's not something As far as your travel list, yeah, it's somewhere at the bottom of the list, but you don't want to do it when you're too old. Anyway, so you guys asked, both you guys asked, it's like, hey, what's happening with Sunita? Okay, let's get into
Oh,
this.
God.
So I don't know which screen you're going to look at, if you can see it on mine, hopefully. So in business today, but this was sent to me by a number of people, and no, I'm not going to try to click on that blue bar because
Okay, why can't they send them food? Why can't the
Wait, read the headline, Mark.
I'm going to read the headline. Ready? Stranded on the ISS, astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunita Williams survive on soup made from their own pee. Could not make that up if I tried.
I'm dead.
So initially treated to fresh fruit, roast chicken, and pizza, the duo's menu has been reduced to powdered milk, dehydrated casseroles, and freeze-dried soup, reconstituted using water processed from their own sweat and pee.
And Peanut says that was in Waterworld.
That's the premise of the Kevin Costner movie Waterworld from back in the 90s.
Which shows this is fake, although we already know it's fake.
It's an interesting, again, this is a story which you should have run years ago because it adds there's certain little details and it's like, oh, wow, all these little interesting things, maybe it is real. Right? Because why that seems pretty complex if you're going to fake something like that. The bigger question is, why didn't they address the food question, the food and water thing, a while ago? Remember, this was supposed to be, what was it, a weekend? Let me scroll down here. There she is. Okay, so there's Sunita, and more importantly, Sunita's chin. That's
a promo for Wicked, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not kidding you. She dresses, I shouldn't be mean. No, I'm gonna. She could dress up as Halloween as a witch, and people would think, "Oh my God, that is an amazing prosthetic, you guys." It's like, no, it's not a prosthetic. That's her. That's her.
The thing is that why is she losing weight, and we don't hear stories that Butch is losing weight?
Oh yeah, good point.
Is Butch stealing Sunita's pea soup?
So the headline underneath,
I think so.
Underneath this picture is NASA doctors closely monitor their nutrition, ensuring they meet daily calorie needs, yet both astronauts appear visibly thinner. Right? Butch is 60.
They're on that Ozempic.
Exactly. Butch is 61. Sunita's 59. What started as an 8-day mission in June has turned into a 6-month ordeal after the Boeing Starliner spacecraft meant to bring them home suffered helium leaks and thruster malfunctions, rendering it too dangerous for a manned return trip. Really? 6 months? No one. I'm really stunned that Elon didn't take credit. It's like, oh, I could have totally rescued him.
That's the thing. Hasn't he sent up supposedly in his spaceships to the ISS refueling supplies?
I thought so. I thought so, but I don't know. Again, it's a fake story, of course. Okay, so there's a 530-gallon water recycling tank. Peanut, do the math on this. It's 8.35. We'll round it up. It's 8.5 pounds per gallon times 530. What is that? That's a lot. That's a lot of weight just in water. And apparently there isn't enough water, so they're recycling their own water.
And I remember hearing that the astronauts do that anyway on the ISS, or maybe it was the Russian astronauts.
Which means this would
some
be,
story like that came out.
Which means this would be just hype.
This is just hype on top
This
of hype.
story is just another eye-grabbing, attention-grabbing, just she's drinking her own pee to survive, and we got to feel sorry for her. Look, I think the most controversial thing about Flat Earth is questioning whether astronauts are really doing what they say they're doing, so I want to be respectful. However, if she's lying, girl, it's like, I really hope you're at a resort somewhere, and I don't know why they're starving you for the craft, but, we hope you get a cheeseburger time
She's in an underground military base, and she's on Ozempic, and she's living her best life, probably getting a manicure and pedicure and a chinicure right now.
And by the way, the chinicure. Yeah, by the way, her chin, if that angle doesn't do it justice, her chin is actually out farther than her nose. Peanut, the calculation would be 530 times 8.5. That's how much water they have in weight up there, supposedly. 530 gallon tank is huge, by the way. 255.
And this Business Today article is loaded with food,
not divided,
recipes and pictures of food throughout this art. If you scrolled up and down, it's
it is
like to add insult to injury.
That shot bugs me. Oh yeah, 4,200 pounds of water, whatever. So that's 2 tons, by the way, if you guys don't know. That shot, by the way, you know what's anything strange about this shot? Where was that shot taken exactly? I have never seen the ISS with the lights turned off, ever, in a video. Have you ever seen the ISS completely turned off? There are no background lights in this shot. And it's like, one, I didn't even know you could do it. And 2,
and you can kind of see flat Earth out there.
Yeah, you can kind of see flat Earth. You don't know what exactly, right? You just see a shape. Yeah, that can't be. Well, and again, to the skeptics, that shot right there, it can't be faked. That cannot be faked. Except for every influencer that's ever on a fake Gulfstream jet ever in Los Angeles that you can rent for $50 an hour.
Right.
Right. Because
that could have been taken on a plane, a regular airplane at night.
I saw somebody with a laptop with a picture of the Earth, and he took a toilet rim seat and he put it up to the screen, and it looked like he was exactly what Sunita's doing. Yeah. It was just smoke and mirrors.
Exactly.
Boys.
Yeah, that shot absolutely cannot be faked. Well, anyway, the point is, so how long can you stay in the ISS? How much food is up there? No one talks about it. How much water? This is the first time I've ever heard a water tank mentioned ever in 10 years. I've ever heard that mentioned. And again, the oxygen, nitrogen. So you've got extra people up there. Apparently your atmosphere, your simulated atmosphere is unlimited. No one talks about that. It's like, wouldn't there be a finite amount of air that you could breathe?
Well, what's the plan? I mean, when are they going to bring them home?
I don't know.
And how are they going to bring them home?
I don't know. They're not hyping it up as much as they.
Meanwhile, in America, we're like getting ready to celebrate Thanksgiving and then Christmas, and meanwhile they're up there, eating like urine.
Yeah, I appreciate
the Globers don't even care.
I appreciate production value. You want to come up with an Apollo 13 situation up there. That'll get you ratings. This is going to get you nothing. It's going to get you absolutely nothing, except for...
And also, NASA, what if failed? No escape pod on your ISS? I mean, every good starbase has escape pod.
Yes, they do. And it's big enough for 2. Always.
There you go.
Yeah, come on. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So, moving on. This is TMZ. And appropriate with the short that I did in Musk of Fiction, which, by the way, TMZ, the greatest journalist in the world. Elon Musk, Saturday Night Live, just mad Trump won, slams Dana Carvey's impersonation. If you didn't see it already, Saturday Night Live, a couple days after the election was over, did their little tongue-in-cheek saying that they were always behind Trump entirely, and then all of a sudden Dana Carvey comes out imitating Elon Musk's dark MAGA thing where he's jumping around the stage like an idiot, and Elon You say, oh, that's not cool, by the way. Elon always about the presentation, the bomber jacket during that one interview that he did.
Hey, and by the way, Elon does have a weird cut on his neck in that picture. Remember I was just talking earlier about people were saying it was a mask?
No, but it could be work done. I mean, he is a guy that, he's absolutely going to have work done. Anyone that's, again, he's 53 and not his real hair, not his real hair color.
Why does his face look kind of weirdly yellow in spots?
I don't know. Who knows?
It is kind of weird.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows with him?
He does look weird. Did you hear Grimes came forward too? You know, Grimes is his ex-girlfriend who he had a couple babies with that are named after the AOL dial-up song or sound. And basically she was like, this is not the man I fell in love with. So I thought that was very interesting. They've been going to court custody battle for a year.
Fell in love.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know. I thought, he just was sowing a seed wherever, and that he does support his children, and he just moves on. And they say that. Does she say he's different because he supports Trump and she's all for like women's rights or whatever, and was supporting Kamala or something?
She didn't get into specifics, but basically she just doesn't believe that he's the man she fell in love with, which, she's also known for being an oddball, really into AI, makes her own music. She's a super kind of a goofy, weird girl. But I mean, dude, with what he's doing,
I think she's talented. I've listened to some stuff and seen some stuff. Like, it's not my thing, but I can see it's, good. Or talent. She has talent.
Fell in love with the man. I doubt it. Fell in love with the money. Oh, yeah.
She doesn't even seem to be interested in money really like that. I mean,
yeah, she had her own mini fortune, but
with the artwork she puts out, it doesn't seem to be she's doing it to. Okay, like when we were talking earlier about Alex Stein. Alex Stein makes himself like as mainstream as he can, even if he's got deeper flat Earth beliefs, in order to court fame. And of course it helps because then he can spread the flat Earth message on bigger platforms. But on the opposite end is Grimes, who's really not doing a lot of stuff to like make herself be super famous, is she? Or has she been on like Saturday Night Live? Maybe she has. Yeah. I don't know. I don't follow
she
her.
was on it with him, actually.
Was she?
Wow.
Back in the day?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
She was playing Princess Peach in some sort of skit, and he was playing Mario, I think. She was kind of known for making interesting electronic music, self-produced,
interesting videos too.
Mm-hmm. Interesting videos.
Interesting
I don't
outfits.
hate her music.
Either do I. Either do I.
I paid attention to her more before I got into Flat Earth, and like all pop stars, I cared about more before Flat Earth. That changes a lot after. But with Elon and her, they seem to me like this perfect AI, love couple that kind of merged. For again, everything I think Elon, everything he does, especially after learning from Mark, he's doing it for attention. He makes SpaceX look cooler. He makes Tesla look cooler. Everything is to make Tesla look cooler, is my point. By lying about what he's really doing and what's really happening, and to boost stocks. So
and making Trump look cooler to Gen Xers maybe or something, who were the ones who really pulled him over the line, if voting is even does anything.
I will. The only thing I will give Elon credit for is being a futurist. If you guys don't know what that is, where you make predictions about the future off in the distance, like, I see this happening 10 years in the future. I see this happening 15, 20 years in the future. The difference between him and every other futurist is he takes it one step further and he says, oh, no. I'm going to do this in the future, but it's not going to be 10 years in the future. It's going to be now. And then it's like, I'm going to do this and it's going to be done in 2 years. And it's like, okay. And then nothing happens. Like he's talked about, there was a wonderful article that came out that it said he's been talking about that the perfection of self-driving cars is going to be happening next year. And he said that's now for 9 years in a row. Right. And he says, which is why I did the video. I said he makes these calls all the time, and
he's a kick the canner.
He is. I've never seen, but people love futurists, and it's probably the first time a billionaire has been a futurist and tried to, one way or the other. It's like, oh no, we're going to go in that direction, and it completely falls flat. But everyone keeps going that way anyway. It's the whole slobbering dog routine where it's like, arr, 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 arr. They just follow him wherever he goes. Doesn't matter if there's no bone. There's a bone right there. No, there isn't. There's a bone right. No, there isn't. How many times do you have to fall for it before you kind of get wise?
Well, I've been noticing his character is in question more than ever. It's really gnarly when you get into Flat Earth, then you see why. But if you haven't gone to Flat Earth, you kind of are picking up on the fact that he cheats on his wives or girlfriends. He's playing hardball with Grimes for the custody of her and his kids. The Tesla product isn't as quality as a lot of people thought. And I just think also teaming up with Trump, it really taints his image even more with the left side of things, because now he's kind of falling. His pedestal is kind of getting kicked out from underneath him. That's what I think is interesting.
Yeah.
Like why they would allow that. If they want him to be the face of the future, why are they doing such bad PR for his image?
Right.
Right. And he's now tied to Trump, which is like, well, I mean, I like Trump as characters on the world stage go. He's fun. But he's tied to a guy who's like a lame duck president from the get-go.
Yeah.
He's only got 4 years.
If you give someone like Trump $150 million and say, hey, can I hang out in the White House from time to time? What do you think's going to happen? It's like, all right, yeah.
You think Elon gave him money like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, how do we know that?
Well, we'll have to take his word for it. I mean, politicians don't politicians, you're right. Sometimes politicians will do things just for clout, but most of the time they're looking for the do-re-mi.
I like how Trump's like, I love Elon. I can't do his accent, but just like, he's the smartest man. He's like, ooh, and he explains the rocket, and he's like Trump's like a child talking about it. And
exactly.
Of course, he's talking about something that is fake and childish. So it kind of fits.
And I know that some people are like, oh, no, Trump's got him, and he's always been a Trump. No. You got to remember, Elon was a DeSantis guy. He was totally in DeSantis's corner until he backed out. Then he just pivoted, and it's like, well, it's going to be Trump.
And Trump was originally a Democrat, so.
There you go. I mean, he tweeted, he said, oh, no, Trump's too old. We got to go with DeSantis. And then when that was a non-starter, it's like, oh, no, then he was with Trump. Don't think that he was with Trump since the beginning. And like people just short-term.
Well, what's a person who's in the American Legion? Isn't that like a gun for hire? Isn't that what the American Legion was? You can go fight wars.
No,
you're American Legion.
You're thinking of the French Foreign Legion.
Oh, okay, French Foreign Legion.
American
Legion is like
they are
lodge.
guns for hire. The French Legion is
French
gun
Foreign
for hire.
Legion. Politicians are like French in the French Foreign Legion. They'll go to whatever party, they'll flip-flop, they'll change, whichever way the wind blows, whichever is going to work for them.
Oh,
the American Legion. Sorry, that was
Tucker
ridiculous.
Carlson, no offense to him, I'd love to be on your show. Tucker Carlson was blue team. Lots of people know that. He was big-time blue team, and then he switched over. So.
Well, my brother's a Republican, and he voted now, but he used to be a Democrat, but he switched because he just didn't like the way the party became. Yeah. And the woke stuff. So,
go ahead, DJ.
Many of like Trump's cabinet members used to be Democrats now, which is kind of funny because if you're really diabolical, you might disguise yourself to be a Republican to get into office, and they're secretly still,
there you go,
like spies for the left. Who knows? I don't care. Point is, it's just interesting because a lot of people are expecting big changes to happen if you're a Trump supporter next year. And hey, I'm going to sit back and hopefully they can come through. But I have a feeling if it's as diabolical as we all think, it ain't going to be in their favor.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, because that was part of the platform, which was that Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon were going to, they're part of the whole Doge group. It has nothing to do with the Bitcoin, I'm sure, that they were going to start slashing government programs. If you know anything about how the government works, good luck with that. Cutting anything. I mean, you've heard, like things are like an act of Congress. This is literally what acts of Congress. Good luck. The politicians, these two guys, you're going to go in there and all these politicians are going to brace up and stonewall you. They're not going to cut jack. Absolutely nothing.
No, all the things they say are going to happen. That's not exactly what's going to happen. I mean,
again,
it's just promises.
Go ahead, DJ.
Okay.
But did you see that picture already, RFK, which, I'm rooting for him to make some big health changes in the system. But then the first day they're eating Big Macs together on the plane.
Right.
Did you see that picture? Yeah. They're all eating McDonald's.
And someone made it into a meme where they're sitting on the set of MSNBC, meaning Elon's going to buy MSNBC and then they're going to eat McDonald's in MSNBC to really stick it to the left.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Meme warfare in effect.
It's just trying to piss off both sides. It's not. It's so crazy.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And one more thing to close out the Elon part, which is don't forget that after he bought Twitter and turned it into X, when he fired everybody, the stock price is, I still think it's like 75% down. I mean, there were investors that lost billions of dollars, billions. And nobody wants to talk about that. It's like, well, he slashed all these jobs. It's like, yeah, but the stock price just got cratered. Absolutely freaking cratered. Which leads in this story. We won't talk about this one very long. I just want to mention this was like a side note for you people out there that are into Uber Eats and Grubhub. Grubhub just sold for $650 million. 4 years ago, it was valued at $7.3 billion. So it took a bit of a hit, depreciated a little bit. On a company that was supposed to be growing, apparently Grubhub was the odd man out in the food wars, and so it was sold out.
So during COVID, it took a hit, and then it's popped back to that degree. Don't you think in COVID it would have been doing well?
No,
when
it's
people
lost.
were too afraid to go out.
No, it's lost 90% of its value in 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was-
yeah. Oh, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So
during
Sorry,
COVID,
I got
it was at the
confused
peak.
there.
yeah,
Right.
Grubhub. Yeah, Grubhub's done. But yes,
I actually
during
have Grubhub on my phone. I use it.
Yeah, you could probably
sometimes.
uninstall that pretty soon. Let's go into, these are going to kind of blur into clown worlds, but I've got quite a few of them. This one, I loved. I loved it for multiple reasons. So hopefully you guys can see the picture. There's Sylvester Stallone, Sly himself. And he said after the fight, the Jake Paul Tyson fight, that Sylvester Stallone says Mike Tyson gave one of the great Oscar-winning performances in Jake Paul fight. The Rocky star seems to believe Tyson pulled some punches against Paul. Now,
Seems to believe.
Now you
you
got
can
to
see the footage yourself.
Now, granted, I'm older, but you have to understand, if you don't know everything there is to know about Sylvester Stallone here, he is the authority on how to fake fights on film or on camera. That's his whole life since he was in his 20s. Everything from the Rocky franchise to hitting people with Rambo to the Expendables, those 3 franchises and all the other movies he's done. He knows exactly what fake punches look like. And he also went to Mike Tyson back in the day, right, as research for his movies. He went to heavyweight boxing bouts. And there was this wonderful quote in here where he says, and again, some great lines, which he says, just to set my I won't do his accent, personal record straight, business is business, Stallone wrote. It was for the money. Again, Tyson got paid $20 million. Sometimes you have to do some things, you have to do sacrifice for the sake of helping your family. I have known this unbelievable athlete since he was 19, Mike Tyson. And what we saw him was giving one of the great Oscar-winning performances of all time. So in conclusion, I'll take a line from Rocky. He's a wrecking machine. Anything he touches, it breaks badly. Keep punching, Mike. There will never be a man like you, a gladiator like you, and a soul like you. Keep punching, champion of champions. So, yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm so happy that he came out and said something. Because
did you hear the theory that you're not going to like this, and no one here, because we know how we feel about the Paul brothers because of the conference, the Flat Earth conference, but that Jake Paul is purposely going and paying these people who he fights to lose the fight so that he wins, so that they get money. The purpose is he's being like a good Samaritan to get boxers who have been overlooked or forgotten to get them paid.
Are you an optimist?
That's the way that's being spun in some circles.
Let me get this straight here.
Wait, I kind of feel for that too.
Jake Paul is doing this out of the kindness of his heart, the goodness.
I've read it.
The
I've
Paul
read it.
brothers.
I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying I've read it.
He briefly took the halo and put it on the desk and off his head and put it on the desk. And it's like, what ex-athlete is suffering right now that could use some money? Oh, come on.
He might sell it to those people that way. That's how he might sell it to them. To the people he fights.
The reality in this is that Jake Paul, he has his people. It's like, what ex-athlete right now is hurting for cash, that is willing to swallow their pride and take a dive?
But he might not sell it to them that way. He might sell it to them like he's trying to help, but we'll keep it on the DL. You get money.
Sure.
Yeah.
I bet that's how he sells it to them.
Sure, why not? Yeah. Is that what he said when he went to Mike Tyson? I don't know. It's like, Mike Tyson.
Maybe.
Again, Tyson was one of the few actual boxers that he fought. Remember, the other people were just ex-athletes, right? Mm-hmm. The wrestler was embarrassing because it's like he put boxing gloves on a wrestler and put him in the ring. It's like, the guy's a freaking wrestler. He could break you in half, and yet you're going to tell him, oh, by the way, you can't grab me. with Tyson, when you, it's like, oh, by the way, $20 million, you know, can you, after the second round, can you just kind of just not hit me? I mean, again, Tyson, he only got hit 18 times by Tyson. And that you saw
There's
that
a
one
video going around where you can see the punches being pulled, let's just say.
Yeah,
Big
that
time.
one shot, that one
Dude,
shot.
I don't even know anything about boxing. I could tell when he missed the shot. He didn't take every shot that he had available to him.
And
Come on.
and Jake Paul reeled as if he got hit when
Right. He
when
was
Mike
already
Tyson
doing
never
the
touched him.
Hollywood snap, which is, you know, they train you.
Well,
to
it was nice that,
Go ahead.
you know, the people that don't like to talk conspiracies in my world, when these things kind of happen, they can't help but come across that other people are questioning it. And I'm like, yeah, it's not just me, guys. What do they
there
have
you
to
go.
gain? Yeah.
Conspiracies are everywhere. That's what I say to people, just like that. Like, la-di-da-da-da.
Before I move to the
Just
the
playing
next,
dumb is beautiful.
Before I move to the next one, I've got to mention that it's unfortunate that social media now is changing things. And I'd like to say they are ruining some stuff. And in this case, now granted, boxing has always been suspect because it's so tough to tell if a fighter's giving it everything he's got. Remember, professional boxers, all they have to do is like not throw, you know, just a couple rounds. And the rest of the fight can be normal. It's like, just don't knock them out. You can't prove that one way or the other.
Well, when wrestling is fake, you
There you
kind
go.
of know things like it, like boxing with the ring, are fake too.
Right. And
Not always, but
Logan,
you know.
Jake Paul does boxing, and now it's turned into celebrity boxing where no one cares about regular boxing anymore. It's like, what celebrity is going to box what celebrity? That's what we want to watch for whatever reason. Which, let's face it, you guys remember the rumors back in the day where, because it was going to be the ultimate fighting thing, Elon was going to go against Zuckerberg because Zuckerberg trains as an MMA fighter. Right, you know,
So ridiculous.
Right, and Elon was totally into it. Of course, it was going to be scripted, but I hate to say this, that thing would have sold tickets. It would have sold a lot, especially now. It would have absolutely sold tickets, and that's horrible. It takes away from the MMA. You know, guys that are really seriously, you know, amazing gladiators out there. Logan,
That would have been horrible.
It would have been horrible, but you know full well it would have broken the internet. You know,
Who do you think would have won?
That's just it. The fact you're even thinking about that right now. It's like, you mean, who would they have scripted it to win? Well, beforehand, they would have probably given it to Zuckerberg. But now they would probably have given it to Elon. Because, you know, Elon's he's whatever. Logan, of course, you know, his brother is in wrestling. And Logan is also teamed up with Mr. Beast.
Just like that picture. Logan Paul and Jake Paul are both ham.
Yeah, they're both.
They're ham
opportunivores.
Lunchables in human form.
But and again, this is how people ruin things, because they put a spotlight on something that shouldn't be. So in this case, you remember Lunchly, the Mr. Beast, Logan Paul team up, right? Because they wanted to compete against Lunchables. Because they were doing this, a spotlight was now being put on Lunchables, because that's the direct competition. Because Lunchables had gotten a contract with the National School Lunch Program. They're into school lunches, and that's why Lunchly wanted to get in. It's like, dude, if we can get even to, like in 10% of the schools, we are freaking set for life. Because of that, people started analyzing Lunchables, and there was some bad press. And so what do you think happened? Hey, look at that. Lunchables removed from National School Lunch Program. That's
But
not even real
Lunchables
food,
in
probably.
general are just
it's not good.
Okay.
It's not good.
It's never been known as nutritious. It's like a lazy mom would give it to her child in the school lunch. It's lazy food.
Yep.
As opposed
To
to
me, it's like little
making
kids'
nice
charcuterie.
food for your children.
Lunchables, of course, owned by Kraft Heinz, the company that produces Lunchables, said that we'll remove the meal kits from the National School Lunch Program. The company pulled the product.
I can't believe it even made it to the National School Lunch Program.
Well,
that's crazy.
You know how that happens, right? You know, you get you go out to drinks, a couple lunches, a couple golf course meetings with whoever, and next thing you know, the person in charge of the school lunch program, oh, hey, you just paid off his condo for no apparent reason.
Next thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire, so to speak.
Dude, why can't they just put quality food in the school system? I don't get it.
Well,
Yeah,
and
well, some
I
school
don't-
systems have it. I've heard.
Peanut wanted to remind us that Ronald Reagan was the one that allowed ketchup to be considered a vegetable for school lunches. Patricia and I remember that when that was the controversy back in the day.
Yeah.
Ketchup is a
That's
vegetable.
crazy.
Well, isn't it though? Anyway, so yeah, there you go. Lunchables.
But aren't tomatoes fruits? So let's be real here.
On a lighter note,
I know, thank you.
They are.
on a lighter note,
They are.
This one you guys will love. This is from TMZ. It's TMZ Sports. Ray gun. I am done with competitive breakdancing.
Oh, everyone
know.
cries.
I got sad. I got.
Speaking of Ronald Reagan and Reagan,
Wait, who is she?
Oh,
Is
you
she
don't
the
know
one
who
that
she was
Reagan
that
is?
Olympic breakdancer who did the
Don't you-
most horrible
She
routine
looks
ever
better
in the
here.
history of the world.
She looks so goofy on the Olympics. This
She looks
chick
like a
looks little
dude.
more-
Okay,
to be honest.
for those of
But
you in
okay.
chat who don't know, the Olympics introduced breakdancing as a sport. Why?
Which, but by the way, real breakdancing is competitive, and you have to be incredibly talented to do real breakdancing well.
have you gone to places in Houston and seen some cardboard on the sidewalk and some people
No,
spinning
but
and pop
I've
locking?
seen videos of it. I mean, it's not easy. I can't do it.
No, but have you seen anyone breaking recently? It was a fad, right? It's not
Oh,
like.
of course. I
mean,
agree.
yes,
Yeah, it was
yes.
a thing in the 80s.
Yes, I was a huge fan. I watched Breakin' and Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo and had the soundtracks to both. Of course I did. But they never made any more movies after that, as far as I know. Peanut, they never made more Breakin' movies. There's only 2 of them, right? And so when all of a sudden I saw her at the Olympics, I'm going, wait.
Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it looks
why?
fake. It's okay. Voguing's coming next to the Olympics, I heard, right?
Oh, I'd love that. Strike a pose.
I'm not going to touch it. It's a good song. It's a solid
It is,
song.
a lot of
although I
people's
don't
worst
like
nightmare.
Madonna.
Oh, and sorry, on a side note, I got to mention this since you guys brought up music. I thought it was interesting that Taylor Swift was just announced. She is the second best pop star this century. Now remember, this century. So from 2000 to 2024. And I'm going, is she? Really? 2002? I mean, just because she's hot right now, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go with Lady Gaga on that one. I mean, Beyonce being number 1 and Taylor being number 2, I'm just going, nope. Lady Gaga had way better songs. Way more poppy songs. Like, yeah.
I don't like any of them. Sorry. I'm
DJ?
not down with any of it.
Would you rank?
I mean, I had fallen for Lady Gaga. I'm out of that trance. Thank you, Flat Earth. But thank you, God. But yeah, Taylor Swift. She's like in my bottom list of top pop stars.
Yeah,
I can
like-
think of way better. Yeah. But the Swift army goes far and wide. They.
I know. That's
That's
that's social media influence right there. It's like, oh no, we want Taylor Swift to be the number 2, and in fact, I'm sure they're complaining that she's not above Beyonce. It's like, really, because Beyonce's a hell of a talent, an amazing talent. So, oh, and by the way, Peanut,
I'm not
I
a
would give
fan.
Taylor Swift. I would give her more credit if she was a better dancer,
There you
had
go.
better outfits, and some of her songs are okay. I've never been a huge fan, never had an album. That's
Yeah.
the truth. But there's some catchy songs I've heard. I just think she's not the total package. You
Yeah,
gotta be able to
exactly.
dance.
Right. I
Yeah.
agree.
I like her
agree.
style, but I don't like.
Yeah, I don't like her outfits.
Her music. Sorry,
me,
I had a number of Lady Gaga songs on my playlist.
Yeah, Lady Gaga, I guess, to be honest, is the one that if I have to hear any of it, that's who I'd pick. And plus, she's got the style. Yeah. Also, she's been in some films that have nothing to do with her singing and dancing, and she's a good actress. Yeah. A lot of people
I give
say
credit where
she's
credit's
evil and
due.
demonic. Okay, fine. She also has a makeup line.
Right.
That's really nice. I haven't bought any of it because it's like against my sort of flat earth street cred to have any Lady Gaga stuff around, but she has what looks like a really nice all vegan makeup line that's in Sephora.
She won an Oscar and she
Yeah.
deserved it, and she's going to be nominated for an Oscar this year. I guarantee it. And
And she can actually sing. So that's where when I first saw
She
a
can.
concert, it was I went to the Monster Ball a decade ago, and the girl can actually belt it out like she's a freaking opera singer.
And
so
I
it was
don't even
pretty
know why
amazing.
I don't like her. It's maybe wrong of me to dislike somebody because some people say she's satanic. Some people say this and that within the flat earth community. But, that's what happens with a lot of things in flat earth. We're told it's bad, and then you're like, well, I can't like it, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind
Well,
of
'cause we
like
kinda- we-
liking music at all, or liking movies at all, or even liking sci-fi at all. You're just kind of like not allowed.
Yeah.
Well,
And by the way,
we
what-
see the
I think you
mainstream
should do what you
agenda
want.
with
what happened to Katy Perry? By the way, she's not considered.
Oh, it's true.
all right, in the top 3. DJ, do you got anybody else besides those 4 that should be up there that you can think of? Pop stars?
in this century.
Yeah,
I mean,
in the last 20 years.
no, I mean Ariana Grande is kind of climbing the
There you
ranks
go.
pretty
Yeah,
quick.
Yeah, she's gone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's in that Wicked Broadway play.
Yeah,
she lost
she's
lots
talented.
of weight.
Oh yeah, by the way, Peanut, I cannot read the
Lately?
Peanut made a breakdancing joke. I cannot use that one. I have heard that. I heard that one 30 years ago, man.
Oh, I want to hear it.
No, read it. You can read it
No?
for yourself. Read it in the chat.
It's in the chat?
Not the
Okay,
it's in
wait.
our private chat.
Okay, I'll look right now.
But
yeah,
really
well,
quick, I
sorry,
just want to
well,
say
no.
one thing about
Go ahead.
the pop stars is the problem when you get into flat earth, you start to see that there is this satanic agenda, whether Satan's real or not, is a lot of people want to argue, but these pop stars, either they're forced to lean into it and put it on in their videos and promote that stuff. And that's when you start to get a sour taste, because it's the same people that are pushing the globe, and they push all these other liberal agendas, and you start to just get disenchanted with them.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't follow any of it. I mean, I know about it because I like to know about what's going on in the world, but in my personal life, I don't have any of that in my personal life.
Peanut-
I won't even buy Lady Gaga makeup, even if it's good.
Peanut mentions Britney Spears,
Yeah.
but I think she peaked out before 2000, didn't she?
No, she was still big in the early 2000s.
Really? Give me her last hits, Peanut. Give me something I'll know in between like 2000 and 2005.
That one where she played an airline stewardess on a
that was
maybe the
Toxic.
Slave to Love.
Toxic.
Oh no, it's Toxic. Okay.
And she did the
She
one.
came back.
Go ahead, DJ.
Slave
She's
to
like
Love with the
Kesha's
snake.
producer. Guys, this is like my area of expertise finally. She came back with Dance Until the World Ends when she took over Kesha's producer, and she did have a comeback at that time. She's had plenty of them.
All right.
But, you know, her mind went quicker, and then her body started to fail. So poor Britney, we're praying that she has a Christina Aguilera glow up one day. I don't know if it will ever happen, but
Christina Aguilera looks really great. I mean, some kind of facial work and maybe Ozempic and hard work and determination. She looks basically like she used to look in the 2000s.
It's sad,
she-
And she's got a great
probably-
voice.
It's sad, by the way,
although I
that
don't
as far as pop
like
stars,
her.
I can't think of a guy off the top of my head who'd rank into the top 5 that crack in there.
you have to go to Bruno Mars.
I was going to say Bruno Mars. He played at the Super Bowl when Seattle Seahawks went to the Super Bowl back in the day.
Yeah, you know who's having a glow up is Lindsay Lohan.
Oh my gosh, she looks so beautiful.
What,
Yeah,
Lindsay
she
Lohan's
was-
back?
She's
Yes.
back. They're doing a new Freaky Friday called Freakier Friday with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, right.
And she married a very wealthy man, and they're super in love, and she lives in Dubai. She's like out of the Hollywood scene. She got cleaned up from drugs, had a
Yeah.
baby, I think.
Yeah.
Her hair is red and beautiful. Whatever she did, she looks beautiful.
Yeah, she's
Better than
somebody
she
who,
ever
you know,
looked.
a lot of fame at a young age, and we all know that that's why that system, the Hollywood system that we think is corrupt, they ruin these young people. And so it's nice to see when they can kind of come back and get themselves looking decent and their mind hasn't completely slipped, like Amanda Bynes, who was also a young childhood star who's still clearly struggling mentally.
That's good English, by the way, Peanut. Peanut says, Lindsay does not beautiful. That's nice.
No, she does now.
She looks amazing
now.
right now, yeah.
Yeah, like you have to look up a photo of her where she's not all bloated with the bleach blonde hair and the crazy weird makeup and some strange fake tanner halfway down her feet. Like, what was going on?
Being
But
a
now,
child
perfect.
star, she had some rocky years. No question.
Oh yeah. But now,
No question.
really like wow,
She will always be in my heart because of Mean Girls, always. So I will always remember her for
Yeah,
that.
she was good in that. She looks better than she looked in Mean Girls now.
Yeah, she does.
Transferring over to TMZ Sports again. I wanted to cover this one because, as you know, they're trying to make the world safe and sane in some places and dumb and dangerous in others. So Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, fined for violent gesture during the Bills game. There it is, right there. He's making. I'm going to do it right here. Making a gun, bam, pew pew pew, right with your hand.
Gosh!
He's shooting somebody. I don't think he's shooting a linebacker. I don't know who he's shooting. I don't think it was done in malice. But
That's more like, hey, you.
But-
like.
Yeah, I
Is
know.
that
He like
I
he
know.
nailed it, but bang bang.
or what was it? Shooter McGavin. Shooter.
Yeah, that's a Happy Gilmore.
Happy
yeah.
Gilmore. But in this case, disagree? Peanut's disagreeing about something. But the point was, the NFL was like, oh yeah, we're gonna fine you $14,000. Really, dude? $14,000 for that? That was an expensive little whatever it was, first down, touchdown. So sad. Absolutely freaking sad. There it is. There's the shot. Really, 14 grand for doing that? No.
Is that a gun? I mean, is he holding a rifle supposedly?
Maybe it is a rifle.
It's more like I don't know what that is.
Well, is
That's
Got two,
crazy.
looks like
There's a
both
lot
his
of
hands are
other
doing
things
it,
to be
so-
worried about.
I know, but he's one of the top spokespeople
pointing.
of
Looks
the
like he's
NFL.
pointing like, "Hey, you, you, like,
Yeah.
woo."
It always bugged me. It didn't bug me that much when they changed like the mascots of the Redskins and stuff like that. It changed it to the Commanders. But like when the Washington Bullets basketball team was changed to the Washington Wizards because Bullets seemed too much. It's like, well, it kind of hints at Washington D.C. crime. It's like, yeah, I suppose, but it really wasn't meant that way back in the day. So there we go. 14 grand for doing that. That's just dumb. Oh, in fact, wait a minute. We get a live clip of that. Yeah, there it is. There it is live.
Well, did he just throw like a touchdown or something? That would make sense. It's like a victory dance.
Yeah, touchdown pass. So they just showed him on camera doing that really fast. And
people
I'm
need to
serious,
relax.
he wasn't doing. It's just silly, just freaking silly. All right.
Go woke, go broke.
Yep. Okay. There's a couple more stories, then we'll wrap this up with some just commentary in general. Okay, this one I wanted to mention. This is the only time we'll probably ever use this website, but it's this. Patricia sent this to me, but I grabbed the website from. This is from copblock.org. Badges don't grant extra rights. Well, I disagree with that because they absolutely do. Okay, so you remember I did a video about money recently, right? And I rattled off who was in the $1 bill, $2, $5, and all that stuff, right? So I want to read you this little story. The headline is 8th graders attempt to buy school lunch with $2 bill sparks counterfeit investigation. Okay? I want to explain the layers of this to you. Ready? This was a middle school, 8th grade. Earlier this week, it was reported that school officials confiscated the $2 bill. An 8th grade student in Houston, that's why Patricia picked it up, had tried to pay for lunch at school thinking it was counterfeit. What followed was a full citywide investigation by the Fort Bend Independent School District Police Department. During that quest for justice, the child was informed by a school cop at Krista McAuliffe Middle School that she could be in big trouble after threatening her with potential counterfeiting charges, which carry up to 10 years in prison, and wasting lots of time and brain cells in this ridiculous investigation. The cops involved didn't even so much as offer an apology to, her name is, I'm going to call her out. This is props to you, Denisiah Neal. Can you look her up? See if she's got a social media page, Peanut? D-A-N-E-S-I-A-H space Neal, N-E-A-L. Or her grandmother.
Wait.
What?
Isn't that Krista McAuliffe? That's after the Challenger astronaut. Is that named after her? That school?
Oh, good call.
That's
Excellent
right.
call. That is a flat Earth freaking NASA tie-in right there. The middle school was named after the astronaut that died in the explosion. I'll be damned. I didn't even catch that. Good one. See, you're not just pretty.
DJ gets a.
It's not just good looks.
Thanks, everyone.
Good. That was awesome. Okay,
Gotta earn my keep here.
So
the chat, there's someone that thinks I'm sus in the chat, so that was for you, Mr. Sus. In the
Who
chat.
would ever think you're sus?
So
I can't win. I'm never gonna please everybody, and that's a good thing because I'm not a people pleaser.
So
Well, yeah.
so
I'm gonna
Denisiah
myself.
Denisiah Neal and her grandmother Sharon Ray Joseph. So I'm sure it was her grandmother. So what it did was her grandmother was fumbling around for cash, gave her a $2 bill and probably a couple ones and say, hey, go get your school lunch money. This is where I explain to you guys how weird this is. So the lady at the counter, probably young, didn't think it was real. She tells, oh, good, there she is. There's a picture of her. There's a link to them right there. The lady at the counter that doesn't think it's real. She goes to her supervisor. The supervisor doesn't think it's real. She calls up the sheriff's department. The person that answers the phone doesn't realize it at the sheriff's department, hands it off to a deputy who comes down to the school. That's 4 different people who don't realize that $2 bills are real. They're grilling.
We were just talking about this.
They were like, wait a minute, a $2 bill. It's like, okay, first off, Do you really think an 8th grade girl is going to be part of a counterfeiting ring for a denomination of bill that is never counterfeited? Just so you guys know, we have security things in the 5, the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100, right? We have never done counterfeit protection for the 1 or the 2 because no one cares. Why would you ever counterfeit a $1 or $2 bill? It'd take forever to get anything worthwhile. And what are you going to buy?
Wait, this is funny.
Right? So at some point, somebody older in the
That poor girl.
I know.
Getting all the shit for it.
Somebody older in the sheriff's department had to say, oh, yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. Now, in all fairness, even though I've got a full uncut sheet of $2 bills behind me on the fridge back there, and I've got $2 bills in my wallet, right? What I know what happened was, and here's where everything gets screwed up, and Peanut will get this, which is the $2 bill from her grandmother, right, was from 1953. And even though it looks almost the same, I've got $2 bills in there from the 1970s. They just don't, most of the time, you don't get them as change because people like grandmothers, they'll put them in drawers, they'll give it Christmas gifts. You never see them, you never get change at a 7-Eleven with $2 bills, right? The seal on a $2 bill from 1953 is red. That would have caught their eye because there are no red seals anymore. And they would have said, oh, well, it can't be real. But then again, it's a $2 bill. And again, the layers, how many people it took before. I mean, this girl was a full-blown investigation. Like, really? Counterfeiting? Really?
Well, they probably just thought there were no such thing as $2 bills. They didn't check for seals.
No. But that's what I'm sure caught their eye, which was, that red seal. But again, the red seals were around for a long time. And just so you guys know, I put that in the video, we have used $2 bills since 1929. We have been putting these suckers out there for over 90 years. And yet still, if you're under, I get it, under a certain age, cash is like the foreign thing to you. There are people now, you've heard the stories where they can't count change when they freak out if you give them cash at the grocery store. They freak out. They don't know what to do. It's like,
Wait, we just kind of did that episode on money too, so good timing.
Yeah,
with this article.
Yeah. Go figure that. I know. Right afterward, Patricia sends this to me. It's like I am now validated. So you know what I did? You know what I did yesterday? I went down to the bank and I said, "Hey, do you got $2 bills?" It's like, "Yeah, we do. We got like $36 in $2 bills." I go, "I want them all. Give me my $36 in twos. I'm going to go out and I'm going to spend them wherever I can. I'm going to throw at least $1, $2 in the mix there and make sure that, I want to see if I can get the same thing to happen. Where a kid be like,
has anybody said, what's this? Or anything like that?
No, not yet. But I know what'll happen because just on a side note, when I was doing something at a pharmacy the other day, I paid for something. Our ferries, because they like to do things quick, they give out change. They give out 50-cent pieces, the Kennedy half dollars. By the way, Kennedy half dollars, still printing them since 1964. I gave the girl at the counter, she had to have been like 28, gave her a 50-cent piece. And for a while there, she didn't know what to do. She's like looking, she goes, I don't know if I can take, and it's like, and I wanted to insult her, but I couldn't. What I was holding back is like, they don't counterfeit coins. We haven't counterfeited coins in 1,000 years. No one does it, right? There's no point. And it's real, right? But whatever.
So that'd be a good thing for people to counterfeit.
Coins?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, and take them to the coin star and drop them off.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, sacks of quarters. Yeah, go to the coin star and just get your checks.
You can do laundry forever.
Oh my God, that would be awesome. So anyway, hats off to.
Hey, that'd come in handy for me.
I feel bad that they didn't offer the apology because it's embarrassing. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, when you have someone in his 40s or 50s, at the sheriff's tomorrow, it's like, yeah, dude, the $2 bills are real, and it's like, oh really? They make those?
Oh, that poor kid.
Poor kid.
Like, thanks a lot, Grandma, for that.
I know. I felt bad. Grandma just grabbed it out of a drawer. It's like, you pay for your school money with this. Nope. Okay, last story, and then we started with Elon. We're gonna end with Elon. Remember, I said in the video, he just says stuff. Whatever he says is a freaking headline now. This is it. Ready? And this is all over. You can look this up. Elon Musk declares he is a 3,000-year-old vampire alien. That's the story. Elon
He doesn't
Musk.
really look like
What is
that
that?
person.
No.
Truth in media.
Elon Musk has shared a number of historical posts on X, and after one user pointed out he must be tired from all the various identities he's assumed, Musk came clean. Yep.
Okay.
He gets
well,
he gets no, he doesn't look like this guy. No,
no.
he absolutely does not.
But you know who would think so? The fittest flat earther. Have you seen the fittest flat earther that's always comparing, saying that celebrities are other people? It's pretty funny.
Oh,
and
no.
interesting,
Dallas Goldbug does that too. I don't think I've got any follow up to that. So yeah, there it is. There he is. Yeah, someone already did an AI version of that. What if Elon Musk was actually from one of his employees, from Doge Designer with a check mark? Nice. What if Elon Musk is actually a time traveling vampire alien who is building Starship to return home to his home planet?
Then build faster. Get the hell out of here.
Oh,
Bye.
Swear to God,
They left out demon, alien vampire demon.
yeah. Why did you get small again, DJ? Why?
I don't know.
He's getting small, just like Steve Martin. Remember?
That's very good. Okay, first off, I'm impressed because you know the name. That's one of his Steve Martin's early comedy albums called "Let's Get Small."
Yeah.
Very good. How do you remember that one?
I don't know. I used to love Steve. I don't dislike him, but I mean, I have all. He's a writer too. I have like a couple of his books.
Steve Martin's awesome.
I love Steve Martin. I've always loved him.
I was thinking more like Rick Moranis, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh yeah,
Rick
that
Moranis.
too.
All
That's
right.
another good one.
All right, I'm gonna make him.
Well, show's almost over.
Just make DJ really big and cover all the rest of it, because that'll be like the best.
There we go. There's DJ.
Whoa,
It's
whoa.
just gonna encroach.
Whoa.
He's gonna encroach on Patricia.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Patricia. It's very
Guys,
Alice
did
in
you have-
Wonderland. I'm not gonna be able to fit out of my own doorway.
Yeah.
There you go. It's based. You know, we should have it based on. I should see if we can set it. See, there it goes. I didn't even change it.
Whoa.
We should set it based on like a vote system, and it's like it'll like grow.
Who do
and
you want to
shrink.
see bigger?
Yeah, who do you want to see bigger? Need you not. And by the way, I'm not flipping the thing. There's something weird happening with this video.
I wish my dog was here. I would show her off. Daisy, where are you?
Well, I think we
This was
had
her
some
chance.
fun. Next week should be our special guest, and we will hopefully cross our fingers that'll happen. Any
Hi, I
any
feel like,
clo-
hi, Mom. I'm so
any
front and
closing
center.
remarks by you, Patricia?
Absolutely nothing.
No.
All's wonderful.
All right. Again, Let's Get Small. I am so impressed. That gives you so much more street cred from a comedy standpoint. Seriously,
That's what I
nobody.
want.
That is the first
Street
time
cred.
I have ever heard anyone mention, since I was a freshman in high school, mention the title of that album. That's amazing. DJ, what do you got? Yeah.
Not much. Just tune in next week for Lizbeth. Lizbeth, we're looking forward to having you. And you can follow me on DJ Curious Strange World on all the TikTok, Instagram. Say hi, send me an email, drop me a line. I love to hear from you guys.
Cool. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap this one up. So
And thank you, Peanut, for all you do for us.
I was gonna thank him eventually.
I have one thing to say to everyone. It's this.
What?
Did you hear it?
No. Did you play it in front of the microphone?
Yeah.
Did you?
Oh well. Yeah.
What was it?
No one heard it?
What
What
was
was it?
I'm not telling you
Oh.
because I tried twice now and it didn't work either time.
All right.
Did the chat hear me play anything?
No, we would have heard you. No, Peanut didn't hear. Peanut doesn't hear it. Didn't happen.
Okay, that's
Remember,
weird.
if it's on the internet, better be video or it didn't happen.
All right. I failed.
All right, we will be back next week. Same flat time, same flat channel. Say goodnight, Patricia.
Good night, everyone.
Say goodnight, DJ.
Good night, Strange World. Stay curious.
And Peanut just keeps on smoking. And we're going to play our little montage, do a little drumming. And yeah, it's Alex Lowry, which I don't like him.
All right.
He's got a good song.
He's in the
Check
chat.
out the tinfoil sombrero, too. I
dancing, ranch dressing, goat heads with the number 9. It is so divine with the holy grail, shape of the snail, the Fibonacci sound of the conch.